Okay, guys, so I will speak English because of the recording that we have currently today. Maybe it will be useful for somebody in the world. Hope so, in some way. My topic is how to save PaaS the cloud. It's also a topic connected with the Sitecore itself because right now, since a couple of years, when we are working with Sitecore, hosting Sitecore, we are also thinking the cloud. So my main purpose today is to give you some basic knowledge and some maybe tips, hints regarding hosting Sitecore applications on the cloud. Let's try. Okay, it's working. So something about me. So my name is Robert Debowski and I'm Sitecore team leader at SoftServe, and I'm working here in Białystok. I'm in .NET business for 9 years right now. And yeah, I've got blog, Twitter, so you've got my social contact at the bottom of the slide, so feel free to add me, write me, and so on. Okay, so when we are thinking about the deploying application, hosting application, we have to concern in which places we would like to put our application, and which of that place is the best for us for our situation. So we've got a few deploy ways. So we can use our internal resources that we have in our company, for instance, some IT department, and put our application in that place. We can use also some external hosting providers. So we can say that it's some IT department, but not in our company. And we've got cloud. In this particular example, I'm talking about the Azure. Of course, you are able to check another one, so it's up to you. When we are thinking in the context of the project, which way we should to choose in the situation that we've got 3 of them. The main factors that we concern are the business factors. So what is the main what option has the biggest advantage in the business? Internal server infrastructure. So we have to keep pay on our side for internal server infrastructure, so the hardware itself, for DevOps guys who will be the person that maintain the whole environment. We are taking responsibility for that hosting, so your own company is responsible for that, in front of the client, for instance. And in front of our boss, we cannot blame anyone. Yeah? So if we will break something, it means that it's our fault, our company, and it's not so easy to explain that for the client. So yeah, the reaction is, oh boy, maybe this is not the best option for us. Let's check another one. That's a mistake. So we've got external hosting providers. So it's let's say something similar, but outside our company. There we can struggle with the scalability, because maybe the company that will provide the environments for us, it's only a few persons and few resources, and it's not so easy for them to scale our applications. We've got the bigger risk of breakdowns. This is something from my experience, my real life in the business, because I worked in the past with some company. It was company for the whole Poland, and the breakdowns appears a few times at least. It could be also the security issue, small flexibility, some we can say responsivity with the persons working in that place. Long disaster recovery, what is also connected with small flexibility. But we already have someone to blame. So in that point, if something collapsed, we can say, haha, it's not our fault. So this is supplier, and he's blamed for that. So now we've got a situation that it's not bad, but maybe it could be better. And we've got cloud. So here we've got the scalability, but in this positive way. So we've got this easy way to scale, high availability. So we can be sure that the application will be stable because cloud is working across the whole world, we can say. And you know, our project, it doesn't have so much impact to break down the whole cloud, for instance. Security, which is much more extended in this environment. Big flexibility, because to serve the cloud services, you have to, you know, give clients this flexibility. Short disaster recovery, what is also connected with this big flexibility. Cost savings, or the costs itself, it's a very wide topic, I think, in the cloud. So you can, it depends on the approaches that you will choose. Everything depends on your needs. But even later in the presentation, I will give some tips how you can save really much money. And we cannot pretend that it's not important for us to work with fancy modern approach. So yeah, I think that everybody of us is aware that in a couple of years, most of the projects will be hosted in the cloud, no matter which. But yeah, right now it's very good when you are choosing the project, you know, is it hosted on the cloud? Can I be also involved in that process? Can I learn that? So this is the topic also very interesting for the developers. And we can be happy. So cloud, but how? So we've got two main approaches for deploy, or not even deploy, or for the hosted applications. So we've got the IaaS and PaaS, so infrastructure as a service and platform as a service. And in this infrastructure, we will get the, let's say, old-fashioned way approach that we'll have the particular resources that we can manage, like virtual machines and so on. And in the platform as a service, we get the services, and we don't care about the configuration of that services. Everything is served for us, and the cloud take responsibility for the configuration of it. So here, yeah, we've got the DevOps maintenance, flexibility, which I mean that's flexibility in this negative way that you have to, you know, you as a DevOps or you as a project manager, you have to be aware that it will take some much more time to configure something. It also, from my point of view, can complicate the solution. And in PaaS, simple solution managed by developer. Yeah, I don't want to say that the DevOps guy is not needed. I just want to say that if you have simple solutions, simple applications, simple architecture in Azure, usually only developer will be needed for that. So it will also save some costs. Flexibility, easy to scale. Yeah, I said that at the beginning also. Yeah, and fancy solutions. So this is the stuff. From real life, so it's also something that I mentioned regarding the cost savings. IaaS is very interesting option. So usually it can be much more less expensive, cheaper. Yeah, much more cheaper for you. And here is a tip: you can use reservation of the resource in a few years ahead in Azure, and because of that, the discount can be even 70% for the virtual machines. You've got the separation. You can reserve for 1 year, for 2 to 3 years, and I think that if you are considering the IaaS approach, it's something that you need to take even. In the past, you don't have these discounts because you don't have the virtual machines. But here, the thing that you can manage is the license of Sitecore. I'm talking here about the Sitecore license, because if you get the subscription license model, it's maybe better work with the PaaS approach. So yeah, but you've got, you know, these options to think about. Okay, so what about that PaaS? usual way to pass your path. So when we are thinking about the Sitecore and Azure and the cloud in PaaS, we are thinking, I think, as a first thing about the marketplace. So we can easily use marketplace in Azure and just install the Sitecore Experience platform that we wanted to have. There we have a wizard. We are selecting the options, the 6A, the commerce, and so on. As I remember from the past, it was something that on the marketplace it's the newest one version of the platform. So yeah, so it's working in that way. And also we've got the ARMS templates. So this is the stuff that I usually do recently, and it's connected with the PowerShell. So this is here you've got a screenshot from the script that ran the installation, the deploy of Sitecore through ARM templates. Let's talk a little bit about that. So ARMS template. So ARMS template are connected with ARM itself, so Azure Resource Manager, and this is the deployment and management service for Azure. Here we've got some more definition. So it's some special layer to manage the resources in Azure. And because of that, we've got also the ARM templates, so the special templates for that ARM layer, and they are just JSON files. And the main thing here is that the ARM template as a JSON file, it's only the structure. So we are not deploying any application. We are not deploying, any, I don't know, your code or something like that. Well, the ARM itself can be yours, but it means that everything is what is in the ARM template. It means that this is the structure of the resources that we would like to have in Azure. And here even I will use the new thing. Yeah, it's working. Yeah, infrastructure as a code. So this is the good sentence, I think, about it. Yeah, they don't deploy application code itself, only define the structure of resource. Okay. Here I put some benefits of using Resource Manager. So long story short is that you've got more powerful, more control when you're using ARM templates. Yeah, because you can select the dependencies between the resources. You can change the resources. You can add the new resources and so on. When you are using marketplace, you are taking the things that was provided by the company, and you don't have the influence on that. And if you've got sophisticated solution integrations with other companies, and you have to change the app service plans and so on, I think this is the best approach for you. Okay, so ARM templates demo. Here I would like to show you a bit that ARM templates in context of Sitecore. Oh, we've got the technical issue. But we still see the presentation. Or maybe I will have to turn off it. Okay. Do you see something?
Yes.
Oh. Keywords, okay. I wanted to start with this part here. So if you see this XP, I've got a lot of catalogs open it here, but if you see here, I maybe move it in that way. That are the ARM templates which are available for you from Sitecore. So everything is available here. So on the GitHub, you can download the particular ARM templates that you need from Sitecore Azure Quick Start templates, And if you would like to deploy, for instance, Sitecore 902 or Xcommerce, it's available. Just download here. And when we are downloading that, we've got some package which consists of these things. So first of all, what we are seeing right now is that the structure. So we've got the separation for the particular actions, these actions, or the types maybe, or of these resources. So Azure deploy parameters file. This is the file which is one of the most important, the main one for the deploying ARM templates, and usually it's called the same in each scenario. And it consists the parameters for the rest of the application that has to be deployed. And here in Sitecore, you are, deploying, setting up the parameters. So some SQL Server password. You're assigning the packages that you can download also from Sitecore site. So in the dev.sitecore.net, you've got the installation for Sitecore, right? And besides the on-prem installations, you've got also the section with the cloud. And then in that place, you've got the SCDW something extension. Sorry, and you can download the packages that you are assigning here. So this is the case. And when we have this assigned stuff. Okay, one thing more. To assign these packages that you have downloaded from Sitecore site, you have to push them to your Azure subscription, and for that you have this Azure Storage Explorer. So this is the application that is for free, and you can download for the internet. You are just linking this application to your account. Then you are creating the storage. You are uploading those packages from Sitecore site, and after that you are assigning the links from that packages to that file. And then we can say that we've got set up the parameters. So when we have this, and these parameters files can be live on your computer. Besides that, you've got this rest of the files about the structure. So rest of them I have also putting to the cloud. So to the storage that I'm also putting these installation packages. And and here we see that we've got the Azure deploy JSON. So this is the main deploy file, which later just run the particular part of the rest of the script. So we've got the infrastructure, which consists, you see, EXM, marketing automation, Xconnect, and the main infrastructure. So even we are looking at the file list of files, we know in which place we should to change something if we would like to change, of course. And what also I would like to say that those scripts are working in the, let's say, I don't know to choose a good word, in cascade work, like CSS, that when you are putting some parameters, you have to pass then down, and down. For instance, we are putting some parameter to Azure deploy, and then to the infrastructure, then to the infrastructure marketing automation, for instance, right? So we've got the whole path. They are not so independent that they work independently. Okay. So maybe about the infrastructures. Infrastructure part consists. Maybe I will show something here. Consists the the SKU. So you see that here we've got the definition of the plans that we can use for Sitecore, and it's also a thing that we can change. Some SQL servers. We see that we've got the server farms, so we are reserving some resources. Then we have the applications, and the applications part is invoked after the infrastructure, and it applying the app services on the infrastructure that has been created just a moment ago. So this is the case. I'm using the Visual Studio Code. I think that this is the best option to work with the ARM templates. It has some JSON extensions. So here we see that we have the maybe better way to work. So my friend DevOps said that he cannot work without that. And we see this separation that we've got, of course, here in JSON, but maybe when we have a lot of that, like in our case in Sitecore, because I think that this is wide topic in these ARM templates, we have everything here, and we've got the CM hosting, CD hosting plan, PRC hosting plan, so it's more useful, I think. And yeah, so this is about the ARM templates. How does it look? Let's come back to the presentations. Oh, okay. Do not do live demo, yeah? Okay, that was on templates. Okay, it was demo. Okay, so is it all for today? Well, it's not. It's not. And I would like to finish. Yeah. No. I would like also mention about the enterprise approach, because okay, we know right now about the ways that we are choosing the hosting for our application. We understand that we've got IaaS, PaaS. We understand what is the ARM templates marketplace, and now we also have some our cases. And usually, recently for me, I've got a lot of integrations with my Sitecore applications. So this is the enterprise thing, and how we can manage this enterprise thing with cloud and Sitecore. So for me, the most important for me, and maybe even for my client, the most important was to secure the integration. So cloud, when you are setting up the apps web application on PaaS, it means it will have the URL of this web app. And you can, of course, authorize that and put some login credentials and so on, but you will still have this URL from Azure. So how manage to secure the connection with some third-party systems in PaaS approach in Azure? So we were concerning the three options: logic apps, plus on-premise Azure Gateway, hybrid connection, and ACE. So what is this on-premise Azure Gateway? So it's sort of tunneling, let's say. So you are installing on the both of the sides the tool, and you are connecting the environments. So it's, let's say, some separate way to communicate between the applications, and it's also connected with the logic apps, which are a way to consume the data, and they have also special providers for many things, like for the SQL Server, for instance. And you can, transform this data here. This is some example from internet. So you can execute the store procedure, for instance, transform XML, and so on. So it's okay. Maybe that will be at the end of the presentation. Besides that, well, one thing here. What is the doubt here? So why we can not decide to choose that? Because the first thing is the complicated solution. You have to set up in the logic apps, you have to set up in the on-premise gateway, you have to combining them, and everything is of course for money. The different thing is the hybrid connection, and this is also some way to make a tunnel. Today I was discussing that with my friend DevOps as well, and even for him it was very hard to say in which option is better to use the hybrid connection than the on-premise and logic apps. And he said that okay, hybrid connection, the first of all, is much more simpler, so it's much more less configuration. I think that, but it has to be checked. It could be cheaper. And and it also needs to install tool, hybrid connection manager for you. So it's similar, but simpler in my way. Yeah. And the third option that we were concerning is ACE. ACE, it means Azure Service Environment. And what it is, in general, simple words, you can treat ACE as your internal hardware in Azure. So we can say that you've got your own machine in this Azure cloud. Yeah, somewhere in the data center, there is the hardware that belongs to you, and it's only yours. What does it mean? It means that you have the full power to manage the traffic that came to this ACE. So when you put the app service in this ACE, it means nobody will communicate that if you blocked on the firewall the whole traffic. So you've got this option, like in managing some virtual network, that you can cut off the whole internet traffic and only, for instance, open one port. So this is the ACE. And it's when you are thinking about the security, this is very, very good case, because it's giving you some ability like it is on IaaS and virtual networks, but in PaaS. On the other hand, of course, it costs, but maybe it's not the topic for now for that. Yeah, and we decide, for instance, to use it. Yeah. Demo with ARMS. I just wanted to show you because we were talking about the ARM templates, how they looks, and I would like to show you that when we are talking about the ACE, for now integration ACE with Sitecore is in the plans, so Sitecore doesn't integrate that at this moment. It's for the future plan. So I did it by my own, and I would like to show you that. So we've got this infrastructure. So, oh, you don't see that. Sorry. And nobody is saying. Okay. So we are talking about the ACE. So your own internal resources in the cloud. So what does it mean when we would like to customize the ARM templates? It means that you cannot use the default app service plans that are defined in these ARM templates by Sitecore, because you are not in the whole cloud. You are in the ACE. You're in the separate resources. So you have to create your own app service plans. And here you've got another advantage, because by default Sitecore provides many app service plans, right? Because of the scalability, performance and so on. And when we are doing that on the ACE, you can put it, for instance, everything at once on one app service plans. Because of the cost, yeah, only for testing purpose. You don't need, for instance, for testing, I don't know, is it possible just making some POC? You don't need 5 app service plans, and you don't need to pay for them. So you can create one and change the ARM template to install everything on one app service plan. And here you see the parameters: app service plan and app service environment name. App service environment name, this is the parameter that defines the ACE, and app service plan, this is the parameter that defines the app service plan that is inside of this ACE. And later, when we are going to the resources, we here see, for instance, that for CM web app name, we are defining server farm ID, I don't know, parameter, property, and hosting environment profile, let's say property. And here you can inject your own data. And before that, we can check. Okay. I lose my Solution Explorer. Okay, no matter. I will describe. Previously here it was defined the default name for the app hosting plan, which is at the beginning here. You see, currently they are in my customized ARM templates. They are not used, so they are just underlined. And before that, they were in that place. And you can just remove it and inject your parameters. Those parameters, of course, are described in this main parameters file. And yeah, in that place you are putting the parameters, you are defining the values, and then you have to pass across the ARM templates that you have. And for instance, this is the customization for the ACE. Here you see that stuff. What I also would like to highlight is this is depends on because depends on property, because when you are deploying you can have dependencies, right? For instance, you are putting the app service on some resources that has to be created, and during many deployments sometimes the applications are restarted and so on, and you have to take care about the chain of the invoking things, right? So because you can have the race. So some application is restarting, so it cannot open something other thing, and this depends on give you ability to make a chain that everything is related to each other. Okay. Okay, and that's it. So I hope that it will help for you a bit, and for the people that didn't have any experience with the ARM templates, they know something, right, Rafał? And they understand for which purpose we've got the ARM templates, clouds, the approaches, and so on. Thank you very much. Any questions for the placard?
Poster.
Poster.
Any questions? Really?
To ja wezmę ten poster.
Robert, in the Visual Studio Code, do you have any extensions, or this is just?
I've got the extension. Give me a second. Yeah, I've got Azure Resource Manager tools. Yeah, so this is the stuff. Probably it's connected with the language, yeah, and this may be highlighting and so on. Yeah, so I've got it. I can show you. So it's something like that.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Anyone?
Okay.
Alright, so question from my side then.
Oh, I just want to leave.
I also want to get one of these.
Leave some for me.
Yeah, so you said something about the licenses
Yeah.
and the difference in costs when we compare EAS and PaaS approach. So what's the difference actually?
Well, yeah, I've heard something like that recently, that for instance, when you've got the PaaS and you've got the subscription model, that how many visits it's for the app services, well, for the users in the app services. And then for instance, you would like, no, you're not doing the PaaS, you're doing the EAS. And you have to set up, for instance, maybe more virtual machines and maybe more resources that you have to use. And I've heard something from other people that it will have an influence for this subscriptions license, that maybe it will occur more visits or more invoking that stuff. So it can be much more expensive for the client. So maybe change of the license is needed when you have subscription and you would like to go in EAS. I think that from my point of view right now, this is the thing that you have to concern and check, because if somebody from the business is talking about that, it means that it's connected with the money and it's important.
All right. And the second question. Also
You will
mentioned-
not take two.
Yeah, I know. I know. You also said that to install all of the apps on all things like Xconnect,
Marketing automation.
yeah,
Yeah.
that stuff, right? To install this on one web app, you need to create own ARM template, right? So
When I was talking about the customization of ARM template, right?
Yes.
So I just wanted to say that not one web app, because we have to separate web application and app service plan.
Right.
Yeah. So we got two things. So app service plan, if somebody doesn't know, it's something like virtual machine, right? So it's resource. And web app is something like site. Yeah. So you're putting site on the virtual machine. So you are putting this web app on the app service plan.
It's more
And-
like IIS.
Yeah. Well.
This
yeah.
is the better analogy.
Okay. Okay. Sorry. Thank you. And yeah, and by default, of course, because of the performance, Sitecore, define a few app service plan. And if you are working with ACE, it's much more costly. And for instance, you don't need that for POC, and you can change it. So you are changing that, for instance, for 1, 2 app service plans, up to you.
Even without ACE, it's better to customize this.
Yeah.
ARM templates to have everything on one app service plan. For example, for test environment.
Yeah. In ACE, it's only you feel the difference much more because it's much more expressive than usual way. So you feel it's much more better. Yeah.
As long as you don't need to scalability.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the thing. Yeah, I can say that ACE out of the box, only for the box, is costing almost about $900 per month. Yeah. And then you have to pay for the app service plans per each.
all right. Okay. So thank you, Robert.
Thank you.